Hello, my name is Pierre Marchildon. Today I want to share with you about sales in 2D. You've heard of 3D, this is in 2D, 2 dimensions. The 2 dimensions are, one is technical sales process, and one is the emotional or intuitive sales process. And the goal in this short video is to give you the distinction between those two. There are 5 steps to it. The first one is to qualify the prospect. Qualified as in asking the question to the prospect. The second one would be to present a solution based on the needs that you've uncovered through qualifying. The third one would be to trial close. Trial close is, would you like this on Thursday or Tuesday? Would you like the large format or the small format? So you ask a question that indicates, that assumes that the client has already purchased. And at that point, he or she will feel like, whoa, hang on a minute, I haven't bought yet. And will then throw what we call objections or concerns at you. As a salesperson, then it's your job to handle the objections and the concerns and to reiterate to them, so what are some of your concerns? And as the prospects begins, your job is to get all of the concerns and objections out on the table by asking, is there anything else? And you ask that enough times to know that all of the concerns are on the table. Then you represent using the objections handled to close. So let's review real quick. Qualify, present, trial close, handle objection is number 4, and 5 is the true close. And the true close would be, since we've looked at all of your concerns and we've addressed them, I believe this product is a good fit for you. What day, and then again, you can close with an assumed close of, do you want this program to start on the 1st of the month or the 15th of the month? Hence, the close. So that's the basic 5 steps to the technical sales process. However, there is one called the intuitive or emotional sales process. And that one has 4 pillars. And I say 4 pillars because they're not really steps. Though they are, they happen in order of first to last. I'll cover with you what they are. The first pillar, if I can use the word pillar, is the pillar of rapport. I create a rapport with you, I meet you, and in the first 15, 20 seconds, you have a sense that you feel comfortable with me and you like me. That would mean that I've established rapport. The second one is trust. Trust usually is established over a bit longer period of time, is I make a promise to you to meet you at a certain time, or email you something, or communicate something to you. I promise something, and my delivery of that promise will indicate whether or not I have gained your trust. I fulfilled on the promise. The more times I keep my promise with you, the more the level of trust will build. In fact, Stephen Covey in his book, The 7 Habits, refers to it as making a deposit in your client's emotional bank account. Every time you keep your promise, however small it might be, you're making a deposit in that person's emotional bank account. So again, rapport is the first pillar. Second pillar is trust. And trust is, first is I like you, and second is I trust you. The last 2 pillars are conviction and enthusiasm. Why conviction? Because in a product or in a sale, there must be a level of conviction in the product or in the service that is being sold. And the salesperson must have these convictions deeply embedded in his or her heart and minds to be able to communicate that. And on the legs of conviction, there is a transfer of enthusiasm, because my definition of sales or selling is simply this: a transfer of enthusiasm from the seller to the buyer. That happens all the time, and we always hope that it happens in 12 seconds rather than 12 hours, 12 days, or 12 months. But depending on the level of sales that you're involved in and what it is that you're selling, those will vary. But selling is a transfer of enthusiasm, which is an emotion, from the seller to the buyer, because everybody buys on emotion and justifies with logic. Even when they say, no, it was not an emotional sale, we're primarily emotional beings. So when we look at the whole world, 7 billion human beings, soon to be, and millions and probably billions of product, the purpose of salespeople in the world is to match the person with the product, not the product with the person. And you may say, well, those are the same thing, but they're not the same thing, and here's why. In sales, you will be perceived as pushy and unprofessional if you begin with the product and try to fit the product into the client's needs. Instead, we begin with the person, asking the person questions, uncovering the need, and with what we hear from the person, we then find a suitable product and match the product to the person. So we begin with the person and end with the product. And in this whole wide world, there's 7 billion human beings that are all emotional beings who all have needs related to emotions. And there's 5 gates to reach a human being, the 5 senses. Hence, people buy an emotion, justify with logic. So now that you have the distinction between the technical sales process and the intuitive or emotional sales process, the two can work hand in hand. In fact, the two always are there. They're always present. We're just not aware that they're there. And those must be present fully for the client to feel full inspiration and no pressure to purchase.